Welcome to lesson number 7. This is the third part of the Renaissance series, and today we're going to do three very beautiful painting style: Cubism, Surrealism, and abstract art. As always, with just three paintings, a pura chapter we will decide, and we'll talk about the differences, the painters, and some really beautiful paintings that we're going to talk about. Quickly, if I were to define it, what are each of these? So let's start with number one, and I want to talk about Cubism, right? Cubism is the most beautiful of it. It almost started 100 years back, 1907. Remember, these are the kind of questions you get. So the beginning of 20th century was when Cubism started. What does it have? It has still life and landscape and portrait. So Cubism does not have people, landscape, portraits, and still life. Cubism basically breaks 3D into flat areas and then links them so you can see front and back. So example, I can have a pen, which is a 3D structure. I can break it. You can still see front and back of a pen at the same time. So emotions are not important with the pen. Remember, with anything in Cubism, emotions are not important. And one of the greatest Cubist painter is Picasso. This is a name you'll hear so often. Picasso, he's like the Einstein of painting. Pablo Picasso, but the father of Cubism is someone else called Cézanne. So remember, this is the painting entire thing of Cubism. We'll go to Surrealism. Surrealism started maybe 20 years other than Cubism, 1924. So think of World War One ending and Surrealism started after 5 years and continued for a very short time. Only 30 years is what Surrealism was. Now, it is a use of unconscious images. So mostly psycho images, psychiatrists would use it. It's even perhaps use it now for analysis of criminal mind. There is a Netflix series called Mind Reader or Mind Hunter, and surrealism is a very evident there. And one of the most famous surrealist artists is Salvador Dali. I'll show you the photo of who Salvador Dali is. One with a mustache. If you've seen Money Heist, Salvador Dali's mask is what is used there. And the last painting we'll discuss is the first one on here, the abstract art. Abstract, as the word says, non-representative, non-realistic, kuch bhi abstract hai. So it is a random picture, maybe a lot of geometric lines that is used. And Kandinsky, a Russian scientist, is the abstract artist that we'll be describing today. So let's look at the first one, Cubism. Now this is a painting in front of you designed by Pablo Picasso. Now, Picasso is like the father of Cubism. He's like the key person here. And if you look at it, Picasso had a specific system to his painting. First pass of Picasso was called the blue period, right? So he only had blue, green tones on his canvas. The second was called rose period, 1900 to 2 years blue period, 5 years, 2 more years of rose period, only pink, only pink. शायद उतने ही कलर्स थे उसके पास, right? And these painters were not very rich people. And then came the Cubist period, where he became Picasso. The Cubist paintings made him the most famous with regards to what we are doing. All right. So this is a lesson we learned from Picasso. And his most famous work is called Guerna. Guerna is a Spanish war. If I can quickly, share your screen and show you Guerna. So this is Picasso, if you look at it. And sorry, this is Salvador Dali. This is Picasso. And if you look at him, so look at the young Spanish, with all the cap and all, he looks. These are his famous painting. Man with the Violin is what we'll describe now. And this is Guerna. So I'll go back to Picasso. Now, when I ask you to describe his painting, Man as a Violin, what do you see? You see cubism. So a lot of cubes are there, blocks are there. So these are all blocks around that you see here, right? And then also what we see in Picasso's painting, if I can use a marker pen and then probably start highlighting it for you. Let me see if I can do that. These are all signatures that I use. Okay, don't worry. Picasso's cubes are around. Then you see human form holding a violin. Oh, this is kind of strange. Can you see a violin in a human form? A little difficult for you to make out in the cubes. And you can see the colors are all brown and green shades. Remember, so this is after his blue phase, the rose phase. Now this is Cubism at its best. And this is the most famous painting. However, there is a unity between the colors and the form. So it's all merging together. So this is Man in a Violin. You can rearrange it. The geometrical forms all arranged together is what I'm wanting to talk about. Pablo Picasso. My second painting is the painting by another great artist, right? This is called persistence in memory, surrealism. Surrealism is a famous painter, Salvador Dali. And I wanted to show Salvador Dali before I go to his painting first. And so we just saw Picasso. I'll switch on. Remember this man with this photo? Right, that is Salvador Dali, another Spanish painter. All right, Salvador Dali. And that's why Money Heist is looting the largest bank in Spain. They use Salvador Dali mask. His drawing was about absurd, unusual, strange things in the world. Absolutely crazy. What is going in his mind, he will usually draw it. None of his painting represented reality. There is no reality in the painting. Wow, wonderful. His style is precise. Most of them were from his dreams. So Salvador Dali's painting has a speciality, and this is from his dreams. So now think of it. This is how we dream, right? This is a surreal painting, not real, what you imagine. Can you see the painting out here? The only object in the painting is a melting clock. So look at this. Melting clocks. Clocks are melting. What does it depict? It depicts maybe time is going away, time is melting away, right? Right? Verily, by time, man is in loss. You think about it. Also, it relates to all the landscapes which are after war. So it's brown, all humans are dead. There is also a dead animal or a dead skin here lying around. Can you see? Even the tree is barren. So it is describing what happens to humankind after time ends. Also, if you look at this plate here specifically, there is a plate, maybe rotten food is there, and ants are all over it as if they're rotting. There is also, there are jewels here. There's some maybe some objects around, but everything is out of place. This is it. This is the painting. The moment you think, okay, what's the name of the painting? Persistence with memory. The only toughest part of the painting is the name. So remember, and Salvador Dali, we said the man, and Spain. Remember, this is how you describe. It's from dreams, right? And I also said you use this dream in psychoanalysis. There is a ink blot test that you do, Rothschild test you do with criminals. You can use this as an example of that. The last one and is called a painting called Black Lines. One of the founding father of this is Valery Kandinsky. Valery Kandinsky, when the word sky comes in, Vygotsky and other things, it's a Russian painter. He's called the father of abstract painting. It's abstract. This is three important series that he has started: impression, improvisation, and composition. Remember, IIC. Impression, improvisation, and composition. He wanted his painting to be like music. Don't you see? It's like, I mean, when I see, I think of music. And his work has influenced the next generation. So Kandinsky is very, very famous. Now, what you see here is an abstract art. The lines you see were put by, like, looks like ink, but actually these are black paint. So you see, this is black. These lines are all black paints being used. I can just go in and curve it. What is it? There is a particular corner which adds meaning. So the composition is just group of lines. It's random. The colored spot look like fingers of a giant hand, not brush. Also, it's not hand painted, but it looks like hands are used, and they go well. Sometimes very difficult to decode a painting, but that's what black line is all about. If you have to write about black line, write about Kandinsky, write about him being founding father, write definitely about IIC, impression, improvisation, and composition, which is there. Work about his painting has inspired new generation of abstract ideas, and they are using composition of lines which are, it looks like thumbs, but these are all paint brushes. They're actual black paint. So this is how the entire, and that's it. So you see the three things you said, IIC, I'm repeating it. Yes, a very important thing is painting had to be abstract like music. Music has, sometimes there is no country music. There is folk music. There is a lot of other music, and it influence other generation of artists. That's all we've got. Thank you all the people who have helped us in composing this. And what we'll do is we'll quickly run through some FAQs, some Q&As that have come for the chapter 7. All right. So what are the FAQs? These are previous year's question. Write at least 30 words on Black Line by Kandinsky. We just did that. The last one that we did, it's a part of abstract art. Pablo Picasso, we said blue period, rose period, and then Cubist period. Remember Guernica, his painting on Spanish War is very famous, and the man with a violin is what we just learned about in our chapter. How do you define Cubism? Breaking of 3D form into flat areas where front and back both are seen at the same time. Okay. Persistence of memory, yes, that's a persistence of memory. We talk about Salvador Dali, surrealistic painting. It is mostly about his dreams. It is about, melting clock, creating a disturbed sense of time, a perceived time melting away. The landscapes are all after war, all human death, and there's ants crawling over the food. So many things we can talk about. Abstract art. What is abstract art? It is a pictorial format. It's called abstract because it's unrealistic. It's a dreamlike thing. Picasso, we spoke about it. So now suddenly what's the difference? Abstract and surreal, just write down whatever you have read about it. Abstract is non-represented, non-realistic. Surrealism is unconscious. Abstract is communicated in pictorial format. People almost want abstract art to be like music. The founder, one of the father of abstract as Kandinsky, and Surrealism, Salvador Dali, mainly influenced by psychoanalysis. Man is a violence. We had Pablo Picasso, Gunera, Spanish War, Pablo Picasso, personal memory, we spoke about it. This is all. Two surrealist painters, we spoke about Salvador Dali, and we have Giorgiano di Chirico. Chirico, these are all Italian and Spanish names. So lame of Cubist as we said, we spoke about most of it. All these notes are with you. Remember it, and that's all that you need to learn. All the best. Good luck.